Hello, everybody. I made it. So, this is Facebook Live Fridays. It's 7 p.m. where I am now, and I am actually in this tiny town called Sayulita, which is about an hour drive from Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. Viva la Mexico. It is already sunset where I am. I don't know if you could see. Oh, the sun's gone actually, but you can see the pool. And I'm staying at a beautiful mountaintop Airbnb with a gorgeous view. I'm just about to head out for dinner, but I thought I really want to hop on and wave hello. I was committed to doing Facebook Live on Fridays. For those of you tuning in from Vancouver, it's probably 5 p.m. on a Friday, TGIF. And as you can see, I'm completely in travel mode. Like, there's no makeup, there's no, corner office, there's no suit and tie. It's just au naturel. I'm in a bustling town with so much personality, and they're known for their tacos, beaches, surfing, yoga, and all things rest and relaxation. It is very, very tiny, so there is only one road that goes into town from the city. And today I want to talk about my top tips for business travel and soul sabbaticals. A lot of you likely have to travel for business, or you choose to travel for business. And I want to share 3. You see my fingers? This is actually the first time doing Facebook Live with no sort of support for my phone. So I hope you can still see. My top 3 tips for business travel as well as taking sabbaticals. Traveling can be a wonderful way to not only expand your horizons and explore the world and learn about yourself and learn about people and really develop your humanity. It can also be a great way to explore how you could do business in another part of the world, and that's something that I've completely lived and practiced in the last few years, and I've so enjoyed it. This is my first time in Mexico. I've actually wanted to snowbird since December, and I hear that it's snowing quite, almost like Arctic snow happening in Vancouver right now. And I'm sending you a lot of warmth, and I hope you can hear the birds chirping. It is dusk right now. Travel really is good for the soul. So anytime you can find a reason to travel, whether it's just for a conference or, tag on travel with business. My very first tip for business travel is, hi Chris, I see Chris join. So my top tip really is, I'm not going to share the obvious ones, book accommodations that have Wi-Fi, or conference center, a hotel that has a business center and all that. I actually want to share about the importance of adding what's called a buffer day. Okay, so when you're booking your business travel, what I like to do is to have a buffer day one day before to prepare, and another buffer day coming home. Okay, so set your intention for your travels, and not just business intentions, but really personally what you'd like, how you like to grow as a leader during this time. And then when you return, also take time to rest and integrate everything that you experience from your travels. Okay, so most CEOs and entrepreneurs that I know, they pack their travel schedule, and they're often, taking care of last minute things as they're rushing to the airport, and You know, it's not pleasant, and it's not really how you want to set up this time for yourself. It's really important to, you've spent the money, you've taken the time. Hi, Chris. Yeah, so Chris is saying he's in Orlando. I'm curious if you booked yourself some buffer time. I hope you did. So I was just talking about buffer time and how important it is to book a day of buffer time before you go and a day of buffer time afterwards. Okay, so that's my very first tip. My second tip is, it might seem ironic, but when you're done with the business, then just be truly done with it. Okay, so make sure. I myself have been a culprit of this. So when I've traveled for business, so often I barely leave enough room. Sometimes, you know, I'm going home right away. Create some personal time for yourself. After all, that's one of the big perks and draws of going international and traveling for business. My third tip is a little bit more personal, actually, and it's this concept of taking a sabbatical, right? And this is not a new concept. Those of you who are in professions that encourage people to take sabbaticals, and I'm actually here in Mexico on what I call a soul sabbatical. And sometimes, you know, our business, talk about seasons, right? So I just left a city that it's snowing like the Arctic, and I shifted from that environment to, currently you can't see it, but I'm actually very hot. Almost like sweating as I'm doing this, even though it's dust. It's warm, it's the tropics. I feel enveloped in this sort of like palm lined streets, palm tree lined streets, and there's a beach. And so our businesses go through different stages and seasons. It never stays the same. Hi, Zara. This is so fun. Hola, VIVA LA MEXICO. I'm doing this live from Mexico. So as I was saying, our business goes through different stages and seasons, and it is crucial to the success of your business. You as the founder, or you as a CEO, even if it's not your own business, maybe you're running a company, you as a leader, pay attention to the different seasons, right? Which may not necessarily correspond to the actual seasons out there in your outside environment. So currently in my business, I'm experiencing a transition. I mean, technically, it is actually aligned with the winter season in the northern hemisphere. So I'm experiencing a rebirth, entering a new season in my business, and I've just really chosen to take 10 days away from my business, apart from doing Facebook Lives, because I love you all. So important to tune into what is the next for your business that feels true to you. Oftentimes as we're growing and we're making decisions, and maybe partners come in and colleagues come in, and maybe our mentors tell us what to do, what we should be doing next. And it's so important to allow it to be there, and yet tune in to what your soul is really calling you, so that you can be a lot more, I would say, aligned. And that's when you will have the clarity for the next steps or the next goals that you want to achieve. So just to recap, businesses go through stages and seasons, and sometimes we need to take what I call soul sabbaticals, not just for ourselves, but for our business. It's like taking your business to the spa and taking a break from it. It is so nourishing. Hi, Lauren. Yay. Love seeing all of you. it is getting so dark that I am concerned you won't see me anymore. So I will be wrapping up in a couple of minutes. But just for those of you who just joined, I want to recap my top 3 tips. So number 1, buffer days before and after your trip. So don't cram it all. You know, it's like, I'm catching my flight as I'm trying to wrap things up in the office. You know, book ahead buffer days before and after your trip. You'll feel a lot better and you'll be a lot more intentional about your experience. Tip number 2 is, when you're done with the business, then be really done with it. So carve out some real personal time, whether it's with yourself or with your colleagues, or if you've gone to a business trip with your family, make sure you spend time with them. I've heard stories of, you know, people going on business trips and they're doing all business and their family's doing a whole separate thing, and then it becomes just like, you know, the family doesn't even have quality time together. So make sure you carve out some personal time. And thirdly, as with traveling and you're encountering different seasons as you travel, our businesses also go through different seasons, and it's important to listen and pay attention to the rhythms of your business. And you never know, it might be time for you to take a soul sabbatical, and if it's whispering to you in some manner, then I encourage you to listen to it. I will be back next Friday for another Facebook Live Friday that's scheduled. However, I might come on again, you know, in a couple of days, in a few days, when I do feel inspired. Sometimes, you know, it's good to have spontaneous ones as well. But until next time, remember, I believe in you, and I believe that you can create extraordinary success on your own terms and from the inside out. Bye. Hasta la vista.